Hey, what's up, YouTube? This your boy Rubber Band Trades. I'm back again with another trade recap, y'all, for Friday, March 27th, 2026. All right, y'all. Hey, listen, the market been giving me a hard time this week. I'm not even going to front. So, my whole plan today was to come into the market, mark out some levels to trade to, and literally just take one trade, guys. So, I didn't want to push the gas on Friday. They say most traders blow up on Friday, and that's not what I was trying to do, especially in a difficult week, man. So my first trade idea came up. One, we were getting some bearishness, obviously below pre-market lows. So when the market opened up, we attempted to make a move higher. However, then we flushed down below those pre-market lows. So this trade idea is a pre-market low retest or support and resistance retest, and there happened to be a bearish 5 minute FEG right at the retest zone. So to me, this trade lined up as an A plus setup. My only issue with this trade is one, we had already taken the daily low, so I wasn't quite sure what other potential liquidity targets we can target to the downside. Again, although I was only looking for, a base hit move. I guess I also wanted it to line up with higher time frame liquidity targets. So as you can see, my first trade entry was stopped out at break even. However, since we were hanging out at this 5 minute, I re-entered again with my 10 contracts, and I set those 10 contracts to come off at the New York session lows. Or no, matter of fact, I also switched that. I put 5 contracts to come off at the 10 a.m. open. So that was where I was gonna partial. As you can see, this trade immediately started working for me. I was up, already up like $900 before I actually took some contracts off, and then I just started adjusting my targets from here on out, guys. And so this was a good trade. Like I said, I was literally in no drawdown in the entirety of this trade. We were pretty much good, for this bearish move down. I did move my stop and a profit around this time of the trade, and right now I'm just waiting. So I'm waiting for 10 a.m. to get hit, or 10 a.m. open to get hit, to take off two more contracts right there, and I'll also have two contracts to go off at those New York session lows, and then one more contract down there around the 1.5 standard deviation, which I'm looking back at the charts now. I did see we did actually go hit those levels. So it took a little time, but price did make it down there. However, by the time it got down there, we were already off the charts for the day. But right here, we got a 1 minute bearish FEG that is supporting this move down. So yeah, I'm right here. I'm just, again, trimming these contracts off as we're getting these bearish moves down. Also, I'm adjusting my stop loss, making sure we're still in profit. However, I am going to begin trailing my stop here soon. So there you go. I moved that down. So again, this is how we lock in profits on one trade idea. This is how we can capitalize on the move going in our direction. And it may not also go to full TP. However, we are capitalizing on some type of bearish movement during this trade. And, that's how we want to manage every trade moving forward. So right here, I'm up about 280 points on this trade. I got 3 contracts left over. I'm still aiming for 2 contracts to get taken off at that New York session low. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're getting this bearish movement again. This week has been tough. This was a tough short simply because again we are at the lows of the week. There's a saying in the market, they say don't short the hole. This kind of felt like shorting the hole. However, the Bulls just did not have it in them to push price higher. I'm pretty sure a lot of Bulls was looking for a market squeeze. I had scenarios lined up for a potential squeeze as well. However, we did not get that. It seemed like these Bears wanted to keep putting their foot on the Bulls' neck today. So, hey, we rolled out that bearish momentum. I'm not even upset about it. So right here, I'm looking at how this 1 minute bearish FEG has printed. I am again expecting that bearish FEG to be respected simply because we already tapped it and moved away from it. So since we tapped it and moved away from it, I'm expecting it to no longer get tapped again, and I'm expecting price to deliver lower to that liquidity target, which is the New York session lows. Right here, we're hanging out around 10 a.m. open. So I've been learning more and more that the 8:30 open, the midnight open, the 10 a.m. open, and the 2 p.m. open are significant open times in the market. A lot of the times, the market likes to revisit those open lines and either use them for support or resistance. So that's why I like to always keep them in mind when I'm taking trades. They're great levels to trim. They're great levels to take an entry from. They're also great levels to trail your stop loss too. So just keep those in mind. The 8:30 open, 10 a.m. open, the midnight open, and the 2 p.m. open. So right here again, I'm trailing my stop. Now I'm trailing my stop below that 1 minute FEG because again, we already tapped it. We started getting bearish momentum lower. Again, I'm not expecting this FEG to get tapped again, guys. Like after we tapped it the first time and moved lower, we should be traveling to that liquidity target by now. So we're out here hanging out, playing tug of war at 10 a.m. open, and when we got that flush through the 10 a.m. open, we started getting some nice momentum. So I decided to trim right there, and I left my final contract for that New York session low right there at 23,444. So this was a good trade overall, great entry, good trade management. Um, you know, hey, again, this was a tricky week for me, so it was good to get a W on Friday. Yeah, I just want to come back next week, more focused, more disciplined. Make sure I follow my rules, and yeah, man, it's hey, I hope everybody's been keeping their wits about them in this market again, man. This has been a tough market to trade, but we're not gonna dwell over that. We just gonna execute, adapt, and stick to our rules, man. So again, this is right here. This 1 minute FEG should support price moving lower. That's why I got my stop rested slightly above that and the 10 a.m. open. Still aiming for those New York session lows right there. And at this point, we're just managing these last two contracts. Bulls trying to make an attempt up into that FEG. But again, if we are bearish, this should still hold price lower. So yeah, we just like I said, we just waiting for this low to get hit so we can take off some more contracts at this low. This is where I move my no, I still got my stop loss in place. Still waiting for that low to get hit. And yeah, that's it, guys. Here, look at that. That almost came to my stop loss and profit at the 10 a.m. open, but then you can see price quickly rejected that 10 a.m. open. So that's how you guys can see what I'm saying about these these open times. They are used periodically throughout the day as support and resistance level. And there you go. I took off one more contract right there. I left my final contract to go a little bit lower if we wanted to, maybe to that 1.5 standard deviation. But then I had my stop loss right above that 10 a.m. open because, again, if price wanted to move lower, it would not come back to the 10 a.m. open right here. And that's it for this trade review, guys. We took one trade, took one W, and then walked away for the rest of the day. And we'll catch y'all next week in the series. And again, if you like the video, like the video. If you like the knowledge that you're getting in here, subscribe, and we gonna come back at y'all with new videos next week. Peace.